Greetings friends, this is Alexander Tukachenko with you. And in this video, I will show you how much you can earn on the RoyalHook platform by completing tasks without any referrals and without investing a single penny. That is simply with a free account, just by earning from tasks and watching video ads. And here, as you can see, I have the for advertisers section. I personally run ads myself. For example, I have a YouTube comment task, a subscription to a Telegram channel, and video ads. Basically, I actively use all the other options as well. Now I want to switch to the performer section. Let's see how it all works, specifically from the perspective of a regular user. So now I'll just refresh the page to update all the data, and then I'll switch to the performer section. So here is video advertising. We can see there's one video ad here. Let's go to the task. The task is loading now. And actually, I see there are quite a lot of tasks here. For example, there's a task to record a video review for $9 right here. Yes, $9. So if you really need to record a video review, that's probably about what it's worth. There are some for 1 cent and a lot for 1 cent. But I'm sure that if you check in here throughout the day, there will be a variety of different tasks with all sorts of prices. Yes, and completely different types of tasks as well. So there are quick tasks, and the ones we see for 1 cent are the quick tasks. Just last night, I wrote instructions on how to launch quick tasks. That is, there's no person checking it. It's checked by a bot, a Telegram bot, which simply verifies your subscription or some of your activity. There are manual tasks as well. Today, I also recorded a video on how to launch manual tasks. And there, a person can request anything at all, set any task for you, write the specific task text, set the price, and accordingly, you will decide for yourself whether it's worth doing that task for the given price or not, whether it's worth your time or not. And in fact, recording a video review, as we see here, is done specifically through a manual task. So you will record some kind of video review and accordingly send this video for verification. If you pass the verification, you get paid this amount. If you don't pass, then accordingly, they will send it back for revision and point out the things you did incorrectly so you can fix them. And that's basically how it works. So let's actually try to go through something. I'm not ready to record a review right now because I'm specifically making this video for you. So let's pick something simpler. Subscribe to the best channel about making money online. Let's start with this task. Let's see how it works. Well, while I was talking, it looks like these tasks have already been completed, so let's pick another one. So if we see a pop-up window saying there's some kind of limit, it means that while you were clicking, someone else already completed the task and it's simply finished. So here's the task description. Well, we can see this is a quick task, and here when the task is quick, we have how many are there here? 11 minutes, I think. If the task requires manual verification, then you are given an hour. You just click the button to go to the Telegram channel and subscribe. It's absolutely necessary to subscribe using the same Telegram account that you added in your profile, the one you used to add the Telegram bot to your profile. If you subscribe using a different account, it won't count and the verification won't go through. So you need to understand that only the Telegram account you added to your profile can be used to complete tasks related to Telegram. That's the only way. This is exactly how advertiser protection works in this regard. So here is the channel. We subscribe, give it a like, and then simply go here and click the confirm button. And that's basically it. As we can see, the task has been completed. We go over here to the history and we see subscription to a TG channel, 1 cent, status completed. So this happens automatically. These are quick tasks: subscribing to a TG channel, joining a Telegram group, leaving comments, maybe in a Telegram channel, for example. These are automatic tasks, quick tasks, checked by a Telegram bot, and they're instant. So they're inexpensive, but they're instant. There is no manual verification here, but there are other more expensive tasks which cost more, and in those cases, a person manually checks each task. That is, they specify what needs to be done. They specify what needs to be submitted for verification. Be sure to read carefully. If they say you need to send a screenshot, then you send a screenshot. If they say you need to write something, then write exactly what they ask for. And basically then you will pass the verification and get paid, so to speak. So as we can see, it's 0.31 and now my time is already 0.33. We can go to the balance, check the history and see the actual financial transactions, right? And basically here we can see that this amount was credited. And here we can see a small difference. Why? Because the advertiser actually paid a cent, but we actually received 10% less. So there is a 10% gap between what the advertiser pays and what we receive. In other words, the service itself earns only 10%. We can go back to the advertisers section again. Some people don't understand how this works. They just think, I want more tasks, and that's it, right? But it's important to understand here that the advertiser on the other side is just like you, a person who wants to run ads, pay as little as possible, and get as much result as possible. In other words, a person wants to earn money. No one has the goal of making everyone else rich while they themselves go bankrupt, right? So no one really has that kind of desire anymore. That's why everyone wants to earn more. And that's why every advertiser chooses the settings that, in their personal experience and opinion, seem most beneficial to them. So they choose the countries, they choose the targeting that is, well, more convenient for them. Let's put it that way, right? So if we, for example, click the Start Task button here, we have this feature called targeting. First of all, we can choose to show it to everyone who has an active business spot in the matrix, and to those with partner status, that is, someone who has invited at least 10 users to their first line. And often when I use advertising, and I also advise many of my partners the same, if their budgets are small and get spent very quickly, I do not recommend setting it to everyone. I recommend setting it to everyone who has a business spot in the matrix. If that's not enough, then target those who have partner rank, that is, it's the same as free, but they have 10 invited users. In other words, this person is of higher quality, most likely more active, and more valuable for any network marketer in any business, so to speak. Or basically for any business at all. So basically, this is a more active person. And often many people set it up exactly this way. For targeting, you can choose countries, that is, you can select those countries where people will understand your language accordingly. So that's another point. You can even choose a city if you want, or gender if the product is mainly for men or for women. So you can choose things like how much per day, the total amount to pay, and so on. Basically, the main settings are who to show it to, everyone without exception, or only those who have an active business spot in the matrix and partners. So, if you want to get more tasks and higher paying tasks, then naturally, I recommend moving into at least these two categories. Ideally, it's best to have a business spot. This is the most valuable resource. In other words, it shows at least some level of this person's solvency. This, in any case, really sets them apart, both their activity and their solvency. Or if that's not enough, you can also qualify by reaching the partner rank. That is, those people who are working in the free format but have at least 10 personally invited referrals. So these two categories are the most in demand, right? And sometimes people ask me why I have fewer tasks than my inviter. It's because the person is a complete free user, hasn't invited anyone, and doesn't have a business spot. So they fall into this category, which is the largest of all, but it's the least interesting to advertisers. That's why naturally the difference will be significant. Those people who, even if they haven't taken a business spot, have at least invited 10 users. This is still free. You can invite 10 users even as a free user literally in just 1 hour at most, right? You just make a post on social media and there you go. You already have 10 registrations. But this is already a strong indicator for you. It really makes you stand out to advertisers and you become a more valuable potential client for them. And as an advertiser myself, I can say for sure that this audience delivers a much higher conversion rate for advertisers than the everyone status. So if you don't understand how this works, I recommend that you go to the advertiser section and try launching a simple ad. Or at least start an advertising campaign, click through the settings, and then you'll get a sense of how it works in general and what you should expect from it. Even better, launch an advertising campaign, or you can even earn some money by completing tasks and then use that same money to go to the advertiser section and create a task and click through the process of setting up that task. That way you'll experience it from both sides. Then you'll understand the process itself and how it works. And you'll probably feel a bit reluctant since it's a small amount of money that gets spent quickly, right? Most likely in that situation, you'll choose to show your ads to those who have a business account, and that will probably seem more interesting to you. At that moment, you'll understand how it works. In other words, you'll experience the same feelings that an advertiser has before launching an advertising campaign. Then everything will fall into place for you, and you'll start to understand how it works. That's all, friends. I wish you great results, big profits, lots of tasks, lots of income, and large teams. Friends, see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.